Hello everyone and welcome to this session of programming with Java. In this session we are going to see what do we mean by expression, statement and block. So let's start our session. So what do we mean by expressions? Expressions are basically construct made up of variable, operator and method that evaluates down to a single value. So for example, let's say we have a expression which is made up of literal, let's say 1, 2, 3, and a different operator, let's say multiplication operator. Then this is the example of expression because it will be evaluated down to a single value of 6. Similarly, let's say we have another expression in which we have used 1 plus 3 within the parentheses and afterward we have multiplied it within 100, and now this will be evaluated down to a value of 400, which is a single value. So we will say that this is an example of arithmetic expression. So expressions are basically construct made up of variable operators that evaluates down to a single value. Now Java allows making compound expressions from the single expression. So for example, these expression 1, 2, 3, num equals 500, these are the example of simple expression, and we can combine them using the logical operators and other operators to form a compound expressions. Now what do we mean by a statement? A statement is basically a unit of execution, and when we use the semicolon sign after the expression, we convert the expression into a statement. A statement basically refers to that we are telling our compiler that we have to perform this kind of operation. Now, in Java, we have basically three different kinds of statement, namely expression statement, declaration statement, and control flow statement. So, what do we mean by expression statement? Expression statements are basically the expressions which evaluates down to value. For example, here 1, 2, 3, and when we multiply it together and put a semicolon sign at the end of it, we will convert it into an example of expression statements. The second one is the declaration statement. The declaration statement is when we define any variable or method. So for example, here num is equals to 500 is an example of declaration statement because we are declaring that we have a variable num which is an example of integer and it is storing a value of 500. The third type of expression statement we have is the control flow statement. The control flow statement is basically used to control the execution or flow of our program, and we will explore the control flow statements in detail in the upcoming sessions. The next topic is the block. The block is a collection of the group of statement, and we collect them using the braces or curly braces. So for example, as we have discussed many times while defining our program, that we define everything within the curly braces. So when we use curly braces, we are essentially defining a block of a statement, and when we define the statement within those curly braces, we say that all of these statement belongs to a particular class. So in short, when we use the curly braces, we are basically creating a packet of similar kind of statement and telling our program that they belong to a simple class or a simple kind of methods. So in the end, we are going to discuss the last topic, which is operator precedence. Now, when there are multiple expressions, multiple operators in our same expression, then we evaluate the operations or the operators based upon the precedence they get in the precedence table. So for example, the parentheses sits at the top of the precedence table. So if any expression consists of parentheses, then the parentheses and the operators within that parentheses will be evaluated first. And similarly, the parentheses is followed by postfix, which is followed by prefix, multiplication, addition, relation, and logical. So for example, let's say we have a integer a which is equals to 1 plus 2 divided by 3 and multiplied by 4. Now if I have to evaluate this simple expression, then and we have to get it output, then we will write system.out.println followed by the name of the variable in which our expression is stored, which is a in uppercase. And if we run this, we will get 1 as an output. Let's make it a double so that we can also store integer value or decimal values as well. So if we'll run it again, then we will get 1.0 as an output. But suppose we put these 1 plus 2 operators and the plus operator sign into the parentheses, then if we evaluate it again, we will get an output of 4.0, because now the values within this parenthesis, that is operands 1 and 2, will be operated first, and afterward the 3 and the 4 and their respective operation will be performed, because if you remember in the precedence table, parenthesis sits at the top and will get the highest priority. So that's all for this session. In the next session, we will see what are the different control flow statements in Java. Thank you.